The Special Task Force unit of the West Bengal Police arrested 2 terrorists with links with Al-Qaeda and foiled a massive terror bid. Acting on a tip that suspected terrorists would be arriving in the Shashan area, the STF laid traps to arrest Abdur Rakib Sarkar and Qazi Ehsanullah. During interrogation, the duo admitted to being active members of Al-Qaeda of the Indian subcontinent, or AQIS, and named 17 other accomplices active in the area. Sarkar and Ehsanullah are history sheeters with numerous charges against them across West Bengal for various crimes.
Noticing the rapid increase of Russian and Chinese influence in South America, the European Union is taking several steps to counter these advancements. The EU's attention focused on issues closer such as Libya, Syria, and Ukraine at the cost of South America and Asia. Spanish newspaper El País reported an internal document of the EU, admitting their mistake of walking away from the region for a decade. Latin American countries, especially Argentina, Brazil, Paraguay, and Uruguay, are unhappy because the EU failed to ratify the negotiated free trade agreement. Existing FTAs with Mexico and Chile need to be updated but are facing resistance from countries like France.
The head of the Security and Justice Department in the canton of St. Gallen, Freddie Fassler, has ominous predictions if there are frequent blackouts due to energy shortage.
Imagine, you can no longer withdraw money at the ATM, you can no longer pay with the card in the store or refuel your tank at the gas station. Heating stops working. It's cold. Streets go dark. It is conceivable that the population would rebel or that there would be looting.
Talking to German-language Daily Blick, Fassler said that while he does not rate the likelihood of such a disaster, the police are ready for such an eventuality. Swiss authorities said last week that they might place restrictions on energy consumption this coming winter. The head of Switzerland's electricity regulator ElCom complained that electricity was being used completely thoughtlessly and urged citizens to stock up on candles and firewood due to possible power outages.
The Russian Defense Ministry reported that it has found traces of botulinum toxin, type B, in several hospitalized Russian soldiers from the Ukraine front. Since this toxin is considered an organic poison of artificial origin, Moscow has accused Kyiv of chemical terrorism. It plans to send laboratory tests from the soldiers to the Organization for the Prohibition of Chemical Weapons. Botulinum toxin, often called the miracle poison, is one of science's most toxic biological substance. Produced by the Clostridium botulinum bacteria, the toxin blocks the release of the acetylcholine neurotransmitter, causing muscle paralysis. It is easy to create and distribute to cause high fatality. Unfortunately, recovery is prolonged and achieved through a lengthy intensive care program.
With more than 14 million registered voters, Angola is going to the polls for the 5th time in its history on August 24. In one swoop, Angola will elect a new president, but voters also choose their representatives in the National Assembly and local deputies. For the first time, Angola citizens living abroad will be allowed to vote remotely.
Indian police said they busted a fake passport mafia and arrested the kingpin who has been running the operation for 25 years. After capturing a low-level functionary in the capital, the Delhi police realized that the kingpin Zakir lived in Mumbai. Deputy Commissioner of Police of the IGI airport area, Tanu Sharma, gave the details.
As the investigation was taken up after filing the FIR, it was found that the bio page of the passport, in this case, was changed. The bio page on the passport has a passport-related information official data exchange, which has specific parameters, which helps in differentiating a genuine and forged passport. In this case, the bio page was forged. It has the details about the photo, signature, address and the place of issue. These details were changed. Secondly, the passport was restitched. They were using international numbers with the SIM cards issued on fake addresses, and we came to know later that a lot of the numbers from Greece and Mexico were used. They were changing 89 international mobile equipment identities. We have arrested the entire setup in Mumbai, and our next target will be Punjab and Gujarat. The total recoveries, in this case, include 325 passports, 175 forged visas, a high-tech UV machine, 1,200 rubber stamps, which belong to banks, embassies, airports.
Zakir has invested money in the film industry, including a Netflix series.
The idle wing of the Criminal Investigation Department claims to have traced a Chola-era statue of child Saint Sambandar to Auction House Christie in the United States of America. Inspector Indira, the lead investigating officer, said that the 1200s figurine went missing 51 years ago from the Nadanapureshwara Sivan temple in Thadanthotam of Tamil Nadu. Along with this sculpture, several others also disappeared. Since there were no photo records with the government, Indira searched through the records of the French Institute of Puducherry and other museums to discover a photo of a similar sculpture. After determining that this was the picture of the missing piece, Indira has now initiated a legal process to retrieve the treasure back. The DMK and AIADMK that ruled Tamil Nadu since the mid-1960s are atheists and despise Hinduism. Some allege that they aided and abetted the plunder of national treasures, deliberate defacement of monuments, wanton change of rituals, and premeditated ouster of many custodians of temples from hereditary posts after confiscating their wealth and property. The political parties deny such charges. Bhutan's central bank, the Royal Monetary Authority, announced that its foreign exchange reserves have plummeted to $970 million from $1.46 billion in April 2021. While this reserve is enough to sustain operations for the next 14 months, Thimphu is taking some preemptive steps. It will immediately ban the import of all vehicles except utility vehicles, heavy earth-moving machines, and agriculture machinery. Tourism is the major foreign exchange generator, but the COVID-19 pandemic has destroyed that earning potential. Tourism revenues fell over 90% to $19 million. A ballooning trade deficit, fall in expatriate remittances, and depreciation of the Bhutanese currency Ngultram, new, along with its anchor, the Indian rupee, due to a strengthening dollar have created this tight situation for the landlocked country.
A Glasgow-based museum signed an agreement with the Government of India to repatriate 7 stolen artifacts. 6 artifacts were items stolen from temples in North India in the 19th century. The museum bought the 7th from a thief. Prime Minister Narendra Modi brought 157 artifacts and antiquities back from the United States last September. Most of these items belonged to the period between the 11th and 14th centuries. However, some dated back to 2000 BCE and 2nd CE.
Argentina's Secretary, Deputy Minister of Industry and Productive Development, José Ignacio de Mendiguren, reported industrial activity year-on-year growth of 3.5%. Noting via Twitter, Mendiguren said the expansion is despite financial turbulence.
July was a month of financial and exchange turbulence. Even so, the industry grew 3.5% in the year-on-year comparison.
If you like this content, please press the like button and share it with your family and friends. Please consider subscribing to this channel. It is free. Press the bell icon to receive notifications about new content.